Hello everyone, I hope you are all doing great. Welcome back to our channel. In today's video, I'm gonna discuss about the PhD admission process in countries other than India. I just want to say that in this video, I'm going to share my own experience. It could be possible that you have entirely different experience than mine. If that's the case, feel free to share your own experience in the comment section down below so that the community on this channel can be benefited with the diverse experiences. To begin with, I would like to congratulate you for making the decision to commit 4 to 5 years of your life to this PhD. If you're unsure about PhD program, then please let me know and I'll be happy to make a video on how to decide if the PhD is for you or not. I have divided this video in 4 sections and I will add the timestamps in the description box below so that you can feel free to switch on to any section that you want to see. I have my notes here with me but so that I don't forget anything, and you will find me looking down at the screen from time to time. Okay, so let's dive right into it. So our first question is, what are the requirements for the PhD programs in other countries? So first of all, master's is not required to get the admission into PhD. Unlike India, you don't have to have the master's degree before you apply for the PhD. You can apply for PhD right after your bachelor's. If you have master's, it could be helpful to you because you have gained the experience of research, so you are at the better stage to make that decision. So the second thing is you have to take the standardized test. For example, for the English speaking proficiency, you have to take the IELTS or TOEFL depending on what kind of test your university requires, and also you have to take the GRE test if you are applying for a STEM based degree, because in that case they are gonna, with the GRE test, they're gonna check your critical thinking, your reasoning and your analytical writing skills. And the third thing is that your GPA should be above 3, and I know that in India we get the GPA out of 10, so I would say that I know there are several softwares online available to convert your 10 based out of point 10 based GPA into 3 point, but I won't recommend doing that because every university has their own system of doing that conversion. So I would recommend in your resume you should write down your GPA out of 10. University will convert it for you. You don't have to do it yourself. And also I would like to mention that the scores of these standardized tests are not the sole determinator of your admission in PhD program. So you should get the minimum score to be eligible for to be even considered for the program, but other than that you don't have to stress too much about these scores. For example, if I talk about TOEFL test, you just have to get above 85 out of 120, and then for GRE I would say you should aim for the best scores, but I think anything above 300 is good to apply. So the second section is how to find the professor. So unlike India, you have to find a professor who is gonna fund your PhD program. Either he can have the funded projects and you can serve as a graduate student researcher and you will get paid like a stipend, monthly stipend based on that, or you might have to do the teaching assistantships to support yourself. In fact, in some cases some departments require that you at least do the teaching assistantships for once in your entire degree. So how you can look for the professor? Either you can search for the professors who are looking for the students through the network that you already have. Your current professors might know of someone who is looking for students, or you can ask your friends who are already there in the country that you are looking for. And in case if none of these categories applies for you, like it happened in my case, then you have to do the cold emailing to a lot of professors. So cold emailing is searching the professor's email address through the Google and then sending them an email telling them about your interest and everything else. So to do this, first step would be to Google the universities in which are serving which has the relevant department that you want to work in. Also be cautious that sometimes, let's say if I take the example of, let's say I'm in the soil sciences field, I might not find the soil science department in the university, but there could be a department, let's say, named as agriculture sciences or natural sciences. So you have to broaden your search and look for the relevant department names in the universities where you can apply for. Once you are at the department page, you have to find the professors who are working in the same research area that you are interested in. Once you have found those professors, you have to send them an email. That's called cold emailing, because they don't know you. You are sending them an email out of the blue. So you send them an email indicating what is in their research that interests you, and you also attach your resume in that email so that they can know about your background. So when I was looking for the PhD program, I also joined some of the Facebook groups. So you can just type in like simple words, let's say Indian students in US, or maybe you can narrow down the search based on the field that you want to be in, and try to play with the words, and I'm sure you can find various Facebook groups. Could be a whole separate video on how to email, but just to briefly talk about in this video, I will just say that make sure that your email is very professional, and it should not be very long or too short. It should be concise and clear enough to tell them who you are and why are you interested in their research work. And yeah, like I said, don't forget to attach your CV or resume. That helps them to look into your background as well. So let's say you have found the professor that who wants to fund you and who have the project, and yeah, you think that your research interest aligns well. So the next step would be scheduling an online meeting. Some people like to call it an interview, but I think it's more of a casual meeting to get to know each other. In that meeting, they're gonna ask you questions so that they can know if you are a better fit for their lab, and that's an opportunity for you to ask questions as well, so that you can also know if you are a right fit for the lab or not. So after the meeting, if the professor is happy and you are also happy and you think that this is gonna work, you can ask the professor that if you can meet the current lab mates, so that you can get a better idea of what kind of lab culture is. So if you are living like overseas, let's say if you're in India and if you're applying for a lab in US, then of course you cannot do a campus visit, so you have to meet with them like virtually. But in case you are here in US, let's say you're doing your masters and then you're applying for the PhD program, you can do the campus visits, and campus visits are paid by the university. You don't have to pay anything out of your pocket, and you will get a chance to go and visit the campus in which you want to work for the next 5 years. So after you have found the professor, and then you had your like positive reply from the professor and he encourages you to apply to the program, next thing is you're gonna apply to the PhD program through the university website. So there is usually a long form in which you have to answer more kind of like essay kind of questions. They will ask for your statement of purpose, your personal statement, and your resume. And sometimes, I mean, these questions vary depending on what kind of university you're applying, but these are the general essay kind of questions that they ask for. So the personal statement and the statement of purpose are two separate documents. So don't try to copy the text from one document to the other. And also, yeah, I forgot to say that they also ask for the letter of recommendations. I think it varies from the university, but at max they're gonna ask you for 3 letter of recommendations. And about that, I'm gonna briefly say that when you are asking someone for the letter of recommendation, I would suggest to look for the person who you have worked closely with, because they are the one who can talk about you in more depth. Again, this is a topic in its own, and I can make a separate video on this. If I'm going to discuss it here, this video is going to be getting very long. Just want to say that admission committee are not only looking for your standardized test score, they are going to look at your overall applications and how you answer those essay kind of questions. So don't get an idea that if you have a great GRE score, you don't have to put in the efforts to write the personal statement and SOP. Here they matter more than your test scores. So get these documents proofread from someone, because you don't want to make the grammatical errors in such important documents, because they could be off-putting to the admission committee. So once you have applied, sit back and relax and wait for the decision letter. I just want to share a few general things from my own experience regarding this process. So first thing is, don't fall into the trap of university ranking when applying for the PhD program. When you're applying for a PhD, what matters most is your research and how well is your lab doing. If you have decided to apply for the PhD program, you should start this process at least 1 year prior to when you are looking to get the admission into, because this process is super long and it's going to take a lot of your time. Some people get lucky and they get it done in 6 months, but I would recommend take the maximum time of 1 year and then start applying into this. Again, I cannot emphasize enough that your document should be grammatically correct. And if you are not sure, please ask your friends, your peers to take a look at them so that they can point out any error. If the committee find any grammatical error in those documents, they can think that you don't have the attention to detail, which is the skill very important for the PhD student. And like I mentioned, SOP and personal statement are two very different documents. So make sure you do your research to really know what goes into each. And in my next videos, I'm going to talk about all these documents like SOP, resume, personal statement that are required for the PhD admission process. Next point is, before sending the email to the professor, do the thorough research on the professor's profile, because they get so many such emails from the students and they are experienced enough to know that if you have done your homework or not. I would say apply to as many universities as you can, so that in the end you have multiple offer letters which you can choose from. Once you have decided to go with one of the university and decline the offers from the rest, please make sure to send it like a thank you email to the professor for whom you are declining the offer letter. I think it's a best practice to let them know that you are accepting the offer letter from a different university. Make sure you don't want to burn any bridges throughout this process, because you're going to meet these people again in future. I will also link some of the relevant articles in the description box below if you want to deep dive into the grad school applications. If you have any questions, more specific one, you can email me on my email ID, which is also linked in the description box below, and I will try to answer your question to the best of my ability. I hope this video has helped you to gain better clarity of this process. If you have any questions, email me or comment down below. I'll be happy to answer them. And until next video, stay tuned, stay connected. Bye.